What's up, everybody? Welcome back. So this is called In Harmony with Roy Hargrove and Mulgrew Miller, which is a fantastic name, by the way. We lost them too young. In fact, Roy Hargrove we just lost 3 years ago, and he suffered with kidney disease for over a decade before he died at the age of 49. He was a fantastic jazz trumpeter. Mulgrew was a fantastic pianist. This is the first recording for Roy Hargrove, I think, that's been released in over a decade. So a lot of people were looking forward to this album in particular. So this is 2 different sessions that were recorded about 15 years ago, and they put them together on a double LP set that was released on Record Store Day. So there's a few things I want to point out here, so let's get started. The first thing we always want to look at is the packaging. So I really enjoyed this packaging. This was a really well done piece. And there's some great features here. So there's some fantastic photography, really great elements both on the front as well as the back and inside. There are some great shots of both Roy and Mulgrew. Along with that, though, was a fantastic booklet that was included. So it also has some great photography. As a tribute to these 2 great artists, there are a lot of interviews in here about their experience in engaging or even meeting these 2 artists. So you're talking about John Batiste, Sonny Rollins, Christian McBride, Eddie Henderson, great people, and they've all got stories in here. I want to say this is maybe a 20-page booklet that includes these details. As you know, I'm a sucker for design, and there's a couple of things with this album I wanted to point out that I really enjoyed. They're very subtle touches, so unless you have a design background or graphic design, things like that, you may not have even picked up on it. There's this really interesting color dynamic going on with the blue and the peach color, or the kind of beigeish orange color here on the front. So as you can see, the 2 names are different colors. They carry over that color into the design on the vinyl itself. So this is a double LP set, and you have one with each of those background colors. So I did a color match with an app on my iPhone, and I verified that it is the exact same color swatch. So the color swatch that is being used for Roy Hargrove's name, that bluish gray color, is on the center of disc 3 and 4. The peach orange color that is used for Mulgrew Miller's name is on the circle for sides 1 and 2. On each album, when that swatch is used for the background, they actually swap the name color for white. So that way you can still read their name. That subtlety may not be noticed when you throw it onto the turntable, but when you look at each of the elements together, they did a lot of work to make sure that they all tied. That is a really special type of design that I really appreciate. This is a limited edition set. There were only 7,000 pressings, and I came in quite under the wire at 6,235. So as always, one of our biggest topics is going to be quality of the recording. There's a lot of discussion about this one online in particular, and that's because people found it to be tinny or airy, as if the recording quality wasn't very good. It is kind of an airy feel to it, but I didn't take it as a negative. What I actually took it as is a reminder of being in a live jazz performance in, say, a small club or something. I actually appreciated it because I could sit and listen to it and kind of imagine myself being in the room with them in that environment. But hearing these 2 go back and forth and playing off of each other is a great experience no matter what. I did notice that the audience participation was a little bit cut off. They tended to cut the recordings very quickly after each piece, so you didn't get that kind of dynamic or that flow of them being engaged in the performance, which was a little bit lacking. To give it a little bit of perspective, go back and look at my recording about Bill Evans' release on Record Store Day. Those recordings are much more in depth, and they are deep and resonant. They sound very different than this recording. That does not mean that this is not a good recording or that it is not enjoyable. Although it has a different sound, I still really enjoyed this, and I enjoyed the dynamic of feeling like I was in a jazz club. And of course, I love these artists, so you can't go wrong there. What did you think about this recording? Thanks for joining me.